McElway, thank you. Joining me now, Representative Sean Duffy of Wisconsin and Isaac Wright, who is a Democratic strategist. Good to see you both.
Good to be here.
How you doing?
All right, Congressman, I'm going to start with you first. As Doug McElway just laid out, gridlock over President Trump's domestic agenda. Is that fair?
Well, not really. We're moving at the pace of government, which is not lightning speed. We have to give credit where credit is due. The House passed a health care package, sent it over to the Senate. They're working on that right now. Next week, in 2 weeks from now, we're going to bring up our repeal and replace of Dodd-Frank, going to come off the House floor and go to the Senate. We're still working on tax reform. So, yeah, the agenda is moving forward. The problem we have, Sandra, is a lot of this stuff is going to get to the Senate where they have these filibuster rules. We need 60 votes or 8 Democrats to pass any of these bills, and that's going to be incredibly tough. I think the Senate has to fix that rule, grease the skids, go with a simple majority like the House so we can start to move the Trump agenda forward.
Your point is taken about government moving slowly, but Isaac, I'll point out that by this time in 2001, Bush's tax cuts had passed both in the House and the Senate. Are Republicans running out of time here?
That's exactly right. As it's been noted widely and openly, President Trump had the worst 100 days of any modern administration in the last 50, 60 years. And the same is going to be true for the last 200 days as that anniversary comes up shortly upon us. And part of the problem is the policies at stake. It's not the rules, as the Congressman mentioned. I think the problem is these are unpopular policies that are damaging to America.
All right, Congressman, you obviously have to respond to that.
So, I do. So think back to the first 2 years of Barack Obama's presidency. They were able to jam through because they had 60 votes in the Senate, health care, Dodd-Frank, a stimulus bill. America hated it. So Republicans, in response, have cleaned house in our state governments and in the federal government. America wants Republicans to lead. They want us to fix health care. They want us to fix our budget. They want us to fix the tax code. We can't do that because Democrats have this block in the Senate. We need to open this up. Listen, it only takes 51 votes to change the rules of the Senate. Republicans can do this. Get rid of the filibuster rule. Let's start moving legislation forward instead of the House trying to contort itself to try to deal with Senate rules.
All right,
it's not working for the American people. It's not moving the agenda forward.
I didn't hear one word from the Congressman's mouth defending these policies. For example, the proposed Trump budget that he's about to vote on would cut the EPA by 31%. That means $51 million for his state of Wisconsin and the Department of Natural Resources there that's used to test for things like lead and water.
Let's go back, Congressman, to the two major agenda items, obviously health care and tax reform. How important, or I should first ask if we're going to even see movement before the August recess, but let's talk tax reform. How important is it for this administration to get something done on tax reform by the end of the year?
Listen, it's incredibly important. I mean, you start to grow the economy by making sure you reform the taxes and make America competitive again. Because of the funky rules in the Senate, we have to do health care first. Once health care is done, we use the savings off the Obamacare taxes to start moving down the tax levers of tax reform. And so I think it's important we can get it done, but it's going to be complicated. In regard to the EPA and the Trump budget, I give a slow clap to the president. The EPA is standing in the way of progress in small businesses and innovation and creativity. Let's start cutting that budget and making sure they get back to the business of keeping our water and our air
That's
safe.
That's $51 million
Isaac, last word to you.
money that tests for lead in the water of your constituents. It's money that tests for the lead in the water of constituents from the Department of Natural Resources.
All right, so Isaac, how will this president be judged? Let's just go by end of year here. These two major agenda items, there obviously is a bit of gridlock on these issues. Is he being judged too harshly?
Well, we see problems on the tax proposal, namely the fact that it's awfully geared to the top wealthiest 1%, who would see something like a 14% increase in their after-tax income. Middle-class families, the rest of us, the other 99% of America, would see 1.2 to 1.8% bump compared to 14%.
Well, we obviously do know, as far as those corporate tax cuts are concerned, small businesses and big corporations alike are welcoming them with open arms. All right, I've got to leave it there.
Sandra,
5 seconds.
One quick point. Corporate tax reform, even Democrats agree with that. We want to stop inversions where American businesses leave our country and go to other countries with better tax codes. Isaac's wrong on that. Democrats agree with us. Let's get tax reform done.
Thank you for the debate. I got to leave it there, guys. Thank you. As President Trump marks his first Memorial Day